I come here for a fucking shootout, right? A proper shootout, proper thing. Like Colonel Custom.
Hello and welcome to the X-Force Lounge here at the ESHUB Winter Open LAN, powered by London X-Force, of course. I'm joined by Nick, Callum and Trix, the X-Force owners. How have you found the event so far, guys?
Yeah, so it's been a decent event, ran relatively smoothly. Hasn't really had too many bumps in it or anything. So obviously we had a little issue on the Saturday near the end with the last game, but
easily fixed.
Yeah.
Easily fixed. I mean, I'm excited to see what comes next.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the day, because there's been a few teams that I thought probably not making it to Sunday.
Okay.
Have made it. A few dark horses. No idea who's going to be in grand finals at this point.
Any particular teams that have stood out?
PV for sure.
Yeah, 100% PV.
Yeah,
I mean, you could argue strength of schedule, but when you think about it, they've still got a decent chance.
Yeah.
Second elimination, see where they go.
Well, you guys have a fairly strong team, right? BB Connor, Disarray, Fodsy and Wardy.
Yeah.
How do you think they've performed so far?
Outstanding, to be honest. So it was a bit shaky with the S&Ds, but picked up our first S&D and that's it. We're away now.
Yeah.
In the event end up making people angry, I'm actually not sure they're actually trying. There's no emotion whatsoever. It's interesting. Like, you've got all this passion going on and they're just playing the game.
Calm, cool and collected.
Yeah, very
It
professional.
might be the thing that wins them the tournament, you never know.
Do you think there's anyone that's going to actually give them some decent competition? Because they have really been sailing for, I think they maybe dropped a map. Maybe they dropped 2 maps?
I think too, yeah.
2 maps in the whole entire tournament so far. Is there anyone that...
I mean, who was the worry? The worry was what? Avenge, smoked.
Yeah.
Annex, smoked. So maybe PV, but again, strength of schedule. And then, who's it? Correlate.
Yeah.
Correlate are playing out of the
Correlate
mind today.
next.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the surprise of the weekend? Belfast.
Yeah,
That was shock.
that first game as
Yeah, they
well.
were supposed to be failed. I think they were just terrified at main stage.
And they've
Anytime they
actually
went
been
on-
knocked out at this stage, right?
Every time they were on there, they just nothing.
Bold.
Yeah.
It made me and you look like a bit of a joke on the panel, obviously. we both backed Belfast to win that game.
We did, yeah. Well, I'm a little bit biased because I know the Belfast lads, so, got 3 points back. No, I'm only joking.
Getting bribed on main stage.
But is there anyone, apart from, AVNG, there was a few quite close games, though, with AVNG, right, as well. It wasn't just plain sailing. So do you think they're the only team really that can potentially give you some trouble should you get to the final?
And they could do. It's just a matter of, are they going to turn up? They've got to make that losers run still. They've lost to PV, so if PV are down there, then might not even make it much further.
To be honest, I think the level that every team's playing at, anyone that's left in could make it.
Yeah.
Anyone. Like, Phantom are still in, aren't they?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Didn't expect them to be here today. Like, they're making a losers run, so anyone can win.
And what do you feel about the event in general, I suppose, like the venue here? We've got all big shout out to Staffordshire University, all the students helping. How do you think it's gone so far?
Really well, to be fair. It's set up really nice as well.
Yeah. There's a few things that maybe could be tweaked, but I think that's any event.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the setups, some of them are better than others. There's a few things that maybe could be moved around. There's some cramped spacing, but, that just means you're running a busy event, so that's good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, every event, something improves.
Well, look, this event we've got now, 64 stations rather than 32. Access to a bar there, Ember, they've opened for the event, so shout out to them as well. Everyone likes to have a nice cold beer or drink and, pizza and watch the games as well, and that's possible.
Some of us too many.
I'm definitely loving the cocktails.
Some unusual names, I have to say, on the
There's some
cocktail
great
menu,
ones on
but
there.
yeah, some good ones as well. But all in all, right, there's been some improvements, and I get what you're saying as well, right? When it gets to monitors or people's, they're going, there's some PC issues. You got to have that in.
Can't please
every
everyone.
No,
Yeah.
but ultimately, we're playing here at Challenger standard. Been to a lot of Challenger lands, yeah, and you've got 144 plus monitors. That's the competitive standard, and PCs now are overclocked, which is a huge thing, right? I think even with your team, talking to BB Connor and Disarray, one of the things that was a deciding factor for them whether they were going to attend was are the PCs overclocked, right? Because you need that sort of
It's
competitive
interesting.
edge.
It's interesting that that's become such a thing. Like, you think back to console gaming, the things that used to happen years ago.
Yeah.
And now, like, the thing that's going to make or break a team coming to a LAN is whether your PC's overclocked.
It's milliseconds, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't really have an impact on our skill level at the game, but when it gets the, you know,
I mean, talk for
Can't all be.
Seconds.
We'll talk about that later when we have a little grudge match with AVNG on it.
oh, right, okay. yeah, that should be interesting. Look forward to that. But I suppose, like, you know, thanks again. You're the main sponsor for this event, you know, powered by London X-Force Gaming. Tell us a bit about your org, you know, when did it start? Why did it start? Why is it called London X-Force? Bit of background.
So it started during COVID. Originally, it was just me and 2 of my IRL friends. Like, obviously, COVID, we were at home. All we had to do was sit there and game. So I'm streaming, and I'm like, can we like create something just so like I've got something to sort of promote, so I'm not just sitting here going, oh yeah, I'm Glorious Tricks. So then with that, we then thought of X-Force. Now, we've had all the comments of like, are you all like ex-military and stuff like that. It's like, no, it originated from Deadpool, like with the X-Force, and we just changed it and added an E to the front of it. So.
Fair enough. And were you all at the beginning, or when did you guys join?
So I've been competing since, God knows, like what, Modern Warfare 3, way back when, like 2000s. And I just kept sort of like bouncing team to team.
Yeah.
I kind of got bored of it. It's just annoying. You know, you don't want to be looking for a team every bloody time you want to play. Tried to start an org in Ghost, failed. Failed, wipes, done. Took a break for a couple of years and met one of our other owners that's not here. And he comes to me, asks me if we want to play. Don't think I'll have it. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll spawn in, whatever. Give it a take a year. We're like, why don't we make an org? It's just out of nowhere, why don't we make an org? We make it, we get 1 season in. Tricks straight in my DMs. Straight in my DMs. He's like, how do you feel about partnering up, having a merge? Now, that dark side, X-Force were having some problems early on. Some allegations.
Oh, really?
Accusations.
Accusations. Well, that's some massive
Questionable
topic at the moment.
behaviour from the people.
There's always questionable behaviour in Call of Duty scene. Let's be real with that one. Yeah.
Some of it maybe a bit too far, but it's fine. So I've obviously decided, I'll tell you what, I'll do it, but here's a list of things that need fixing.
Okay. Yeah.
Once we fix that, we'll talk. Straight done. Yeah.
And as an org, what, you know, I mean, how many teams do you have? Do you have content creators? What do you currently do at the moment, I suppose? I mean, you know, you've been to a few LANs. You were at the Katana LAN and you helped out at that before. You know, you're at this LAN now. Have you won any LANs? Could this be potentially the first LAN you win? You know, what?
Was it second last time?
Second at the LAN, and
Yeah.
that was to Heptics and that. So it was
Against AVNG, right?
So that grudge match was there, and I'm so glad we.
There's some passion on that, mate.
that was needed. But yeah, it was. So I'm sort of lost at this point.
Right now, obviously we've got this LAN event going really well. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, thanks to students and staff.
100%. The uni's great. The students have been great. They're all pretty switched on. But I think behind the scenes, obviously we run the online teams. I think we've got 10 right now running.
Like that now.
10
This season. Yeah, 10 online teams running right now across all of the AEL divs.
Yeah. Do you have one in each div?
Kind of. There's a couple of duplicates. It all just depends on how placements go, because you can always you can plan for it.
Yeah.
But some teams end up being a little bit too good. Some teams end up. So there's always going to be duplicates, but a pretty fair spread across mid to low.
And I suppose for those who don't know, the AEL is the Amateur Esports League, right? So there's hundreds of teams competing in that.
It's 8,000 members that have just peaked.
8,000 members.
8,000 members. So if you think about that in teams, God knows. I'm not doing that math.
And have you won any seasons? Are you a regular winner, or what's the?
We've had a few goals.
I think we win most of the time. At least one of them. When you spread bet.
Well, yeah. If you compete.
If I go to a roulette table and put money on every single one of them's going to pay.
Hopefully so, right? Hopefully so, yeah.
It's not about the winning when it comes to that. It's more about giving people an avenue to actually compete and keep the scene growing, right? That's what you care about. You're not making stupid money hand over fist when you do these things.
No, it's proper, I suppose, grassroots Call of Duty, right? That's where all the players are going to come up from. You know, we've got players that have played in the AEO and other leagues like it that are here today at this LAN event, you know, and competing. And they go on to challenges, you know, high levels, and you got, you know, to the caliber of players that you currently have playing for you at this event now, you know. So it's a sort of the stepping stone, you know.
I mean, on that aspect, if we go back to our like sort of roots, F.COD
Yeah.
originally at X-Force and everything. So I was there when his accusations were all around and everything. So. But no, fair, I've got to give the guy.
We've got good players, I think.
And he's doing quite well for himself at the moment, isn't he? So
100%.
yeah, I think he was wasn't he one of the best ARs last?
He was the number one player in challenges when he last cut.
Free AR, yeah.
Yeah, so is that obviously you teaching him how to shoot, is it?
Oh yeah.
I've not seen you shooting AR.
I mean, it was hard work playing F-Dot back then. Like, even still, obviously, there was still a little bit of doubt on my side as well. I was a bit like, well, he's getting accusated. I was like, oh, are you actually like hacking and everything? Yeah. And he was like proving himself and this, that, and the other. But yeah, it was a hard gunfight no matter what.
Well, I suppose on that, right, it's quite a common theme and topic at the moment. Accusations are rampant in the Call of Duty scene. I suppose what are your thoughts on the current Call of Duty scene at the moment, and you know all that's happening?
I don't think you can really be like a really good player.
Right.
You just get called out for cheating.
It's got to be frustrating. Like you come in, you make a name for yourself, and instead of you getting the respect you get if you're in another like avenue,
yeah.
Instead of getting the respect you get, it's immediately that it's just cheating. Yeah. And it just every accomplishment you made, all the time and effort you put in, just to be knocked down by something like that. I can understand. You know, we moved to PC. These things happen. There are people that do it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you come to this. Wardy got accused. What,
Yeah,
2 years ago?
Yeah.
Wardy got accused. He's come to this. Not cheating now. Where's the competition?
I think in anything, right, when there's always a new player that makes his way into the scene, you've got the group of players, you've got the club, let's call it, of players that are always competing at that level. You see them there week in, week out, right? Always at that level. And if there's anyone new that's coming up through the ranks, it always is, right, is that person a hacker? You know, I've never seen that person before. Why is he playing, you know, that well? And you need events like this, LANs, right, to really prove your name, I suppose. And, you know, I think there was a couple of players that were accused before attending this event, and they've absolutely outshined like quite a few players and proved their worth and their name, right? So I suppose that's the importance of LAN events.
This is where it matters. This is where you make your name. It's not about online. It's here.
But do you think, you know, of course, you're always going to get accusations with them new players. Do you think the scene's slightly changed, a little bit more toxic? It feels like there's more accusations now than there ever was before.
It's a lot easier. This is the problem. This is why there's an argument about going back to console COD.
Right.
Because it's so much easier to be able to cheat on these games. It's so much harder to detect it.
Yeah.
Still cheat on console, though.
You can, but it's harder. It's about taking away avenues where people can cheat and try and move them to a place where it's harder for them to be able to do these things. But then it's like we're sacrificing quality, you know, like the equipment that's getting used, we're sacrificing that just for people to ruin the scene, essentially.
Well, we've seen an uptake on people using platforms like Console Kings and stuff like that. Everyone's using that, you know, because it removes that. I mean, I think you can still slightly cheat a little bit on console, right? But it removes the majority of hackers from the picture. Do you think we should go back to console? Do you think we should stay on PC?
I think the developers of these games need to put a foot down. I'm sick of hearing about anti-cheats and then it not doing anything. You can tell me you've got an anti-cheat all you want, but there's no evidence that it's actually doing anything. So why is it our job to like work around their game? Surely it's their job to be making sure these games work the way it's supposed to. They have like all these like agreements with players about how they behave and things like that, but then they're not enforcing it. Why is that our problem?
And I suppose looking at other titles, League of Legends, Valorant, you know, I mean,
Valorant,
you know, some of the Riot anti-cheats that they have in place are solid, you know. And so why can't Activision do the same? There is an argument that with League of Legends, for example, I mean, very, very rarely you come across hackers in League of Legends, but the game is quite basic as well. So there's that argument, you know, COD's got a little bit more to it. So is that potentially why there's more hackers?
I don't know.
I think it's just a revenue what they haven't been getting over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
I think it's decreased massively.
fair.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even the path to pro is just next to impossible as well now.
Everything's just so much harder now because of these issues. And they clean these issues up, the game will grow again. They lose a lot of revenue because of cheating.
So whose responsibility is it, do you think? I mean, does it start with Faceit, who's managing the top level? Does it start with Activision? I mean,
It starts at the top, right? It starts at the game. It's the game's job to make sure the things that they want to enforce are actually enforced. You can't threaten it. It's like there's no consequence for these actions.
I mean, look, recently we had the, Krona, just been caught out for hacking, and he was doing it for quite some time apparently. So like,
It's ruining everything. Like everything he's done now is just targeted because he got away with it for so long.
and Vega as well. That was recently announced. So, not to get too controversial, but I suppose it does take away from the competitive integrity because who's hacking and who isn't.
Yeah.
And how are you going to differentiate?
And if Activision can't figure it out, how are we supposed to?
Yeah. Okay. I suppose, moving on from the sort of hacking and stuff before we get all too depressed about the competitive integrity, what are your sort of plans for the future as London X-Force? Anything on the horizon that you're looking to do?
So sort of, we've built the name of the teams. We now so we went the other way. We didn't build the community and then have the teams. We built the teams and now we want to grow the community.
Yeah.
So obviously we're doing like sort of seasonal like raffles and stuff like that. We just had our Christmas one, which showed a lot of interest. Everyone really liked it. Obviously, I know people are sceptical with stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, am I going to pay for my raffle tickets and then not get it?" But obviously, we've now proven ourselves with the first one. We've sent everything out. They've sent images in, going, "Oh, really appreciate it." I was like, "You're the winners." Like, but it was good. It was a good engagement, and we want to keep doing that.
Cool. Okay, because I suppose it's more, you're working with the grassroots sort of gaming community, right, and trying to drive more members into your org and, raffles and such. Everyone likes a good raffle, but of course it's finding that sweet spot of not being too expensive either, because some, gaming equipment in itself is expensive to have a setup. You don't want to be adding more stress to that expense. But yeah, that's a good move so far.
Bringing Callum in as one of our more recent owners. He's been working very hard to improve the social media side, which is obviously where everything's going now.
Yeah.
Obviously, earlier, our team ended up being on side stations, so to make sure the fans had a chance of streaming it. Yeah, trying to just push our name as far as we can down everyone's throat, because we are here. Yeah.
So drive community, drive content.
100%, and then hopefully, by the end of this year, we're going to look to build that streetwear brands, just sort of like give us an avenue outside of the space, but that can also help fund revenue so we can go bigger.
Yeah.
We can get more grassroots going, we can run more of these events, because this was great.
Yeah.
Why not do it again? I've not seen a downside. Why not? I think there's a lot of orgs that should be looking at this and being like, I want to get involved in this. I want to do this.
Well, you get your name out there, you get involved in the community, right? Helps, promote your brand more. Because it is difficult, right, running a Call of Duty org. I've done it myself, so speaking from experience, right, it's a lot of work, sometimes no reward, and it takes a lot of time to build a trusted brand up, right? So doing stuff like that really does contribute to a sort of, pushing you along, But yeah, cool, okay. I suppose in regards to any other plans for the future, or is anything else that comes to mind?
No, if you knock on my door and ask me for some more funding for an event, I might just think about it. But other than that, I think the priority is the community, the priority is revenue growth.
Yeah.
So we can do more and we can be everywhere.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got the games playing here behind us. Is that your team playing now? I can't really see the score behind
It's
me.
a lot
there.
closer than I wanted it to be, but it is map 4, so we are still up. But
Yeah, seeing your focus going on there now and again whilst talking.
What, this is map 4?
He's panicking now. You've got him panicking.
I thought it was map 4. They just messed up the.
I suppose to wrap things up as well. Like, any sort of predictions, final predictions? I know I asked you on the onset, but what are you calling this? You know, how do you see the day ending?
Oh, I don't know. You're asking that. You might be asking the wrong people there. I think it might be vapor. You know, you think vapor on this? What do you think, Trick? Oh,
Don't be too cocky now.
it's all banner.
Yeah, they're here to make that. Like, I get on well with PV and everything. So same with AV&G. Like, it's we keep it competitive. That's what we do. That's sort of the relationship we have. Like, if you don't have orgs that you banter with and you give them sticks, then
X-Force win this event.
Yeah, 100% X-Force win.
Great, it's that rivalry as well, which is great for the scene, right? Because, you know, if you've got, you know, Manchester United against your Liverpool, so to speak, right? You know, you've got them storylines, you've got them rivalries, you've got that history. Makes it even more sweet if you beat them in the final as well, doesn't it? You know, and they, of course, they beat you in the Katana Land final, AV&G, so there is that grudge match there.
We've already
happening.
beat them once. It'd be nice to play them again on Grands, but we've already proved it.
Sure. We'll see how it all pans out. I suppose, yeah, thanks. We'll leave it there for now, but you'll see Twitter. This will probably be out after Twitter, right? Yeah. So either way, it could be spliced negatively or positively, right?
I might be eating my words here.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, cheers, guys, for joining me, and best of luck.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much.
I come here for a fucking shootout, right? A proper shootout, proper thing. Like custard.